stage. Okay, I've dry fitted this cabinet, which I've been making out of old pallets, literally bits of old wood with nails in, like that. Yeah. As a bit of a recap, yes, we basically I dismantled a load of pallets to make the carcass, and this door here, which is going to have a mirror in it. I've also got a second door to make, which is going to be a solid door. And if you ask why I'm not putting 2 mirror doors in, it's because I've got 1 mirror. I'm using everything that I've already got, so I'm not going to go about buy another mirror. And besides, I don't need a mirror above that part. Yeah, you don't stand. You don't need a mirror. Just want a mirror here. So we're going to be making another door as well, which is going to be on this side of the cabinet using this old crappy wood. But first of all, we're going to be chopping some hinges in. Now, I've already cut a pair of brass hinges into the edge of this door, just to speed things up a little bit. And now I need to chop these into this piece of wood here. Now, this piece of wood here, I've had to gnaw it about, because when I dry fitted the cabinet into place, the 2 walls that's going in between aren't plumb. No. The cabinet is actually slightly about an inch smaller, 25mm smaller or narrower than the actual space it's got to go into. Obviously, you wouldn't get it in because because the distance from corner to corner is longer than this width. So you try and twist it into place between the two walls, you ain't going to get it in. So you have to have. So what I've basically done is I made it a little bit shorter, and these 2 finishes here will trim it up against the wall. But look at the shape. I've had to scribe that to the wall, and that is how far out it is. The wall's actually leaning in on that side. It's not surprising. It's an old French farmhouse, you see, so it's not surprising. So anyway, I scribed that in, and literally all I did was I plumbed it up so it was vertical up against this unit. So this unit was basically offered up into its position. I then plumbed this up with a level, made sure this was level as well. And then I scribed it in with a pencil, literally just with my hand, resting against the wall. And wherever the wall came, it was replicated onto here. I just cut it out on the bandsaw and cleaned it up a little bit with a block plane. And it does fit a treat now. So I'm not actually going to fix this to the actual unit until I've got the carcass fixed into place. And the reason for that is that this door here, which will be attached to this, is going to have a glass mirror in it. So I didn't want to make it vulnerable. So I thought to myself, it'd be a darn sight easier if I got everything ready to go, and all I've got is, I don't know, 3 screws and this ready to be plugged up, and I can literally position it up against the wall, make sure it all lines up, and then I can screw it to the carcass. To me, it just makes sense, you know? It just makes sense. So, have I got the volume off there? I have. Oh, that's good news. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to relay the hinge positions. I'll bring you closer so you can see. Onto over here. Here we go. Onto the actual edge, just there. So we're going to relay. We've got one here and one there, and do that one first. I'm just going to line it up where I want it to be. I have actually already marked it, but I'll just show you what I did. All I done was grab with my marker knife. Only got to do one side at this stage, and I just marked one side of that hinge, and then over here I marked the other side of this hinge onto what's going to be the hanger. So think of that being like a door liner, but there's actually a trimmer as well. So it's got dual purpose that it has. So what I'm going to do is use one of the other hinges I've set to one side. These little brass hinges, little brass butt hinges is what we're using, and they're very easy to install just with a chisel. You know, chopping in hinges is something that people get a bit worried, a bit wary about, but it's actually quite easy. Now I could have cheated with these old flush hinges, these ones, okay, but they're horrible, and it's in the shower room, and there's going to be humidity, and they're going to rust. Okay, even though they're plated, they'll end up rusting. You could use stainless ones, I suppose, but they're just nasty. And you literally just screw them straight onto the edge of the door and onto the edge of your cabinet, and it effectively gives you the clearance as well. They're just not very nice, you know. They're just horrible things, really. I did ham and har about it, and also this particular one hasn't got much area there, has it? You know, you'd be very reliant on the screws, and that's another nice thing about butt hinges like these, is that the actual back it off. Oh, crikey, turning some fans on. The support, the actual mortise for the hinge mortise, is supporting the hinge. It's not just the screws, it's the actual mortise. So, anyway, I'll put this one over there for a minute. I'm going to have to move you for a second. I'm going to take the cabinet off, the carcass off the bench, and then we'll shop those hinges and I'll show you how I do it. I don't even remember yesterday I was saying about how I made a mess up on this shelf. I put another little bit of wood in there. I kept looking at it and it was annoying me, even though you wouldn't see it. That just annoying me. So I'll stick a bit of paint on that as well, and then I haven't ever got to be reminded about it again, ever. About my mess up. So I'm going to bring you down to the voice. I hope the audio is okay. Someone mentioned that the audio yesterday was a bit quiet. I've actually turned it up a little bit. Hopefully it isn't too much. Hopefully it is enough. Right, so I'm going to put, so it's that way round. So this is the face that is the face. Okay. I've got a dog in it now. I can hear you. I've got two dogs in there. Oh, crikey. You know what they want, don't you? They want treats. That's what they want. So we'll bring you to that one there. Treat time. Come on, guys. Oh, dogs, eh? What they like. What are you like, eh? We need to clean your face. You've got a dirty face, girl. You been crying? What have you been crying about? Oh, go on in. There you are. There's my Wally. Right, back here we go. We'll bring this a bit further into the voice. Sort of hanging a bit there. It's kind of flex as it is because it's narrow at this end. It's a thin end. Do you fancy one? No, you don't want a doggy bone. Right, so I have got. Oh crikey, now Wally's there. Oh, but I mean, are you gonna let me get on, you guys, or not? Huh? Is it your turn? Is it? There you go. Good boy. Right, Daddy has got work to do. Anyway, I dropped the hinge on the floor. Is way. Okay, they're all identical. They're little brass butt hinges like so. They're very simple, and from the extrusion and then the machined, and obviously the pins put in, but it's all brass, so they're not going to rust. The thing about these, though, you obviously want to install them ready with brass screws, for which I have over here a collection of brass screws. And the other thing about these is you don't want to use, when you pilot hole the screws, right, your clearance hole, the pilot hole, what you don't want to use really is a drill for your pilot holes. And the reason for that is, if you look at the screw itself, they're tapered and they're not straight-sided. See, an ordinary screw, getting all excited talking about screws, and like that one, they're parallel on the sides. So when you put your pilot hole in, it's going to grip all the way along. Whereas this one, what you'll find is, it will grip up here, but it ain't going to grip down there. Let's take one now. I cut it with a Stanley knife years ago. So it's not going to grip there very well, but it's going to grip there. So what you should use is a bradawl like that, right? Because it's tapered. You can see. I don't know if it's focusing probably not, but yeah, because it's tapered along its length. So as you drive it in, it'll grip on the bottom and the top. Obviously, you need the right size bradawl ready for the job, but they're fine. So the other thing about a bradawl is, you see, you're not cutting the fibres out and removing it, or you're squeezing them out of the way, and then they'll compress around the screw again. Compressor or expander in the screw. Oh, anyway, blimey. Right, so that's the face. Double check that. That is the face. That is the face. Now, you can butt the hinge up against there like so. Okay, that's not the right way to do it. You want to get the right clearance, so the knuckle ends up clearing the face of the door properly. You want it to do that, and you'll see it moves out, and it's like sticks out further. I'm just going to line up my mark on this side. Which one is it? That one there, like so. And what I'm going to do is then, as I hold it, you could put a screw in it to hold it for you, you know, so you haven't got to hold it yourself if you want. Okay, but I'm going to just use my marker knife, very carefully score there, score there. You don't, obviously, you'll be very careful, you'll put too much pressure on, because if you do, there's a possibility you're going to move your hinge. So that's obviously a good reason, or good reason for actually screwing it down if you want. I might do it on the next one, so I'll show you. And then on the long grain, with your marking knife or standing knife, whatever you're going to use, you want to put a few swipes down, all right? Because when we start chopping that out with our chisel, and I'm just going to use a little firmer chisel. Is it sharp? Yeah, it's sharp. Okay. What I don't want to end up happening is as I'm trying to chop this out, we end up going off a tangent there. So I'm not going to use the mallet, I'm just going to use my forehammer. I quite like using the forehammer. So it's a recent discovery. Because they've got enough weight and they're not too big. I might make something I haven't done first, which I should have done first, but it doesn't matter. We'll be all right. I'm aware of it. Be a little bit careful, you don't go over your line. You want quite a neat fit, don't you, really? I'm working back to front. Normally I have this the way around. I want you to be able to see, you see. There's two ways. Once I've got this material out and clean the bottom up, there's two ways of doing that. There's a really easy way. If you're a novice or maybe your motor skills aren't that great, and we can actually have a little helping hand. I'll show you on the other end. With this one, I'm not going to worry. Right, so that's what I should have done first, is chop that in there and chop that in there, and then make my cuts, just in case I accidentally split it along here, you see. Then I'll just grab the chisel like so, and then draw it. I'll try and make sure that you can actually see. and draw it back over there like so, right? And all your little bits fall out like that. Yeah, not those bits, no. Your bits of wood. Oh crikey, not that wood. Oh blimey. Well, a bit awkward here because as you can see, I've got no room here because of the bench. So I'm just going to bring that up a little bit. I'm not going to do it at an angle, I know. And I'm just going to control the chisel like so, okay? I'm not going to hit it with a hammer or anything like that. I'm just going to control it, and I'm not going to hit it with the palm of my hand. I know people do, but I'm not doing that. I've got good reason. It's called carpal tunnel syndrome. And if you keep doing that, you can end up with carpal tunnel syndrome, so I advise you not to. That's, you can ignore me if you like. But, once you've got it, it's too late, isn't it? So, as an RSI, repetitive strain injury, it's not pleasant. Now, this bit here, this last bit, if you haven't gone deep enough, which I haven't, with my marker knife, I know where my line is, I can then cut that out. Or you could use the chisel. Quite like using the marker knife, that's quite sharp. I made this one. A couple bits of walnut, piece of saw blade. Yeah, circle saw blade is all it is. There's a video on the channel I made it. And I mean, just to clean it up a little bit, I think this chisel needs a little bit of sharpening. A little bit. Right, let's have a look, see how it looks. Now, I set it a little bit deeper than the edge for two reasons. One is this wood could carry on shrinking a little bit. Which is, yes, it will do. It could end up shrinking a little bit. But also, I back cut it here, just in case the screw heads and stuff like that. But I'm actually using no size screws, so it's not going to be a problem. But that looks okay. That's good. Make sure when you shut the hinge, it's okay. That's good. Now, if you're worried that you've gone too deep, there's a little bit of a trick. You either use a piece of cardboard, a piece of paper, or something like that if you're worried. I could come up a little bit on that one actually if I wanted to. I'll show you. Have I got a piece of cardboard or a piece of paper? A piece of cardboard there, that'll do. Right. I wouldn't normally be worried. I think, as a not corrugated cardboard, just a piece of crappy old piece of cardboard like that. I mean, that's all you need. So, got some rubbers. And grab your hinge, just in case you feel you've gone a bit deep. All right, there's no straight edge, that'll do. Bring it over there like so. You can see what I'm about to do, can't you? It's pretty obvious, really. And then you can place that in the bottom. Do I need it in there? I probably don't, actually. Oh, wrong hinge. Do I need it? No, I don't really need it in there. I'm going to make it so I do need it. That's what I was trying to show you. I'm going to cheat. Purpose of the demonstration. So I'll put a bit of paper in there. A bit of detail back there. Make allowance for the card. Or you use paper, depends how much you want. The thing is, you see, if it's too deep, the hinges are going to bind and the door will bounce. So as you try and shut the door, every time you try and shut it, it's going to bounce back at you. Now, I could have got away with not doing that, but can you see? It's flush now. Just that little extra card was enough just to bring that flush. And now I'm going to use the bradawl for my clearance hold, and I put them slightly. I'm not going to have the screw dead centre. I'm just bring it slightly to the back edge. The idea is when the head goes down, it will pull the hinge to the back. It's bouncing because I got it out of the wind in there, Lottie. Nice and deep because I'm using brass hinge screws, and they're tender. And I don't want to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to So I'm going to put the screws in. I'm going to take them out again. The reason for that is, where's my screwdriver? Oh, it's here. The one that I was using earlier. So one way round, that way round, like so. You didn't tell me, did you? I had the hinge upside down. So I'm just going to do it to wind the screw in, all right, little way. I'm going to do that on each of them. So I'll put this one down all the way, just hold the hinge in place. And I will be taking them out again because the hinges are already on the door, aren't they? What I'm doing is making sure that I've got 3 holes that are going to be easy to screw into, not going to be a pain in the derriere. Ah, that feels good. So, you know, if you want, you can use a small drill bit if you want, but I don't recommend it. Because you've got that last bit, you might find with these tapered screws, old brass screws, you might have a little bit of hassle with them. I'm not going all the way in with these. It's going to go part way in. As long as I've got a nice start, make it easier to fit the door to this piece. So, so all I'm doing is trying to think ahead all the time. You know, if you're obviously going to buy something off the shelf, you're going to have to put up with whatever you got and just fit it. But because I've got the benefit I can put them up in set stages, I can make life easy for myself. All right, so that one's done. That's good. That should be good, hopefully. I'll just have a look on the actual door itself, because I'm not going all the way in. Obviously, double check that the hinge that you're using for the marking is, you know, and you're cutting out, what have you, and setting out, is exactly the same size as your hinges in your door. Because needless to say, that would be very annoying if it isn't. So I'm just going to bring this over here. Let's have a look, see whether or not it looks and feels right. So that is the top. That is top. That one's that way there. So that's going to go on there, and I'll just double check my positioning. That's good. I know you can't see, can you? Oh dear. And does it line up with the other one? Perfectly. So I've got another little mark at that end. I'll just double check, make sure that lines up with a hinge on that end of the door, which it does. So we'll now cut that one out. Check and double check. You know, it's like measuring twice, isn't it? You know, cut once and all that. Right, this one I'm going to do slightly different. Okay. Well, first of all, we'll mark it out and do our little chops, what have you. So mark it all out. I'll show you what I mean. That'll be the easiest way. It'll be the easiest way to show you. Here we got it anyway. Hello, Paulsy. You sound much better today. Cheers. Was it you who told me yesterday? Hello, Gingers. Yeah, hopefully it is a little bit loud. I just upped the volume a little bit on the microphone. I didn't intentionally make the volume lower. It was obviously I must touch the button or something. I could do another microphone really. These ones I've got, which are by Holyland, it's Lark M1s. They're good microphones, except one of the microphones is broken. And I would like to use both microphones, because if you use both microphones, you can use them in stereo. Get more clarity. Okay, is it there? That's there. Is it there? That's good. It's got. Oh, done the wrong way around. Be careful. Be careful. I've got that the right way. That's it. That way around. I need to hold that and score the back here without cutting my fingers off. Be careful when you do this, because you can follow the grain and it pushing your hinge out the way. So I've scored the back. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm literally going to put another piece of wood. So say, for instance, if you haven't had a lot of experience installing hinges and you're a little bit unsure, a piece of hardwood would be best. Well, I'm just looking for a piece of wood. I need a scrap of wood and a little bit of cherry. How about that? Here's a little bit of cherry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trap that like so, the right height in the vise. Remember, I'm working back to front here just so you can see. It's not fun. So I'm literally going to put that there like so. Oh crikey! No, I'll use a clamp. That makes more sense. What am I struggling for? My fingers and thumbs. Oh, there you go. That's the bit I do. Just line up the edge of your hinge. Make sure the right depth. A little bit more that end. I'll make it look harder than what it is, but you know, clam that on there like that. Put that back in the vise. This is not the ideal way of doing it. There you go. Can you see that? Let's bring it over here. Right. It's quite awkward because the piece of wood's quite narrow. So you just tap it down until you reach your scrap. Do the same on the other end, which I should have done last time. And this way, it's a good way of actually working it. You can actually see the same depth for every one of your little cuts for a start. But you'll see why it's quite a good thing. It becomes a guide for your chisel as well. Really a waste. But then we can use that as our guide. You can see that there for our chisel. So when we tap that across there like so, or do it by hand or whatever, without cutting yourself, like so. Wiggle it, don't push it. Slicing actions. Don't do what I just did. Stick the chisel into your hand. That's not a good idea. This chisel definitely needs sharpening. I know why, because one of them housings I did earlier was the knot was in the way. Quickest way to take the edge off your chisel. This is what's this? Cast steel. Is it a ward? No, it's not a ward. I thought it was Rockworth or something. Oh, I did cut myself, wasn't it? I'm always cutting myself. blood everywhere. Oh yeah, at least I'm not gushing blood. Right, there you go, like so. And you end up with a flatter bottom as well, that's really flat. And they're going to be the same depth all the way along. That's one way you do it. You don't have to do it that way if you don't want to. It's up to you. Just my suggestion, that's all. Is that far enough in? Yep. Yep, get rid of that. That's good. So I actually did a better job. They're saying that would be a lot better if the chisel was sharp. Because that is not sharp. Although it did cut me. It's got pointy corners, but it's not really that sharp. There we go. So I'm going to just dummy fit that hinge. Right around it is. Do. You can be so ginger with these screws, so you can quite easily rip the heads off. They could have been slightly bigger screws. I'm just using what I've got. I don't know if I've got any slightly bigger ones. They're long enough. It's just I could do them the next size up. These like threes. 3 mil. We'll take it out again in a minute. And then once I've done that, I need to prepare some more wood for the other door. And the other door is going to be slightly small, not because I want it to be, because it's got to be because the door that I'm using, the mirror that I already had, is slightly wider. Because the mirror is slightly wider. But like I said, I'm using what I've got. Right. I know there's all these other types of hinges you can get, but I think butt hinges take a lot beating really. I like it's a good simple butt hinge like that, especially brass ones. Stainless right as well, obviously, but and also I've got them. You know, over the years you collect stuff, don't you? You know, you overbuy, or it's cheaper to buy a box full than it is to buy like 2, which makes no sense, I know. And you tend to accumulate stuff over the years, you know. And I brought it all over with me to France. So that come out now. So that one's now ready. So if I make some space on my bench, and I'll get rid of the rubbers that I got scattered around everywhere. Got a hole down, a little hole fast. Let's put that back over here. You come to join us, Wally. You've been a good workshop dog. Got stuff all over my bench. Don't need those screws. I'll put them over there. These 2 little ones, I don't need them. They can go back in the box. So what I'm going to do is move you a little bit further over there. Oh, hello! Fancy seeing you here. Well, what can you say? How's the weather where you are? Now, we're supposed to have a lot of sun over there and heat over the next few days, and then we're supposed to be getting storms. All storms. So next week, I'm going to be manically doing the roof. Probably. I'm going to have to. I was going to have leaks. I don't want leaks. I like leaks, as in, you know, like onion leaks. They're quite nice. But I don't like the watery type. No. So I'm just going to put this in a vise. Or the Ito en français. There we go. There we are. In you go. Now I'll screw that to that. Now that is, gets right in the head now. That's the front, isn't it? Yeah. So that's the front, so that's the top. I'm putting blood on things. Oh dear. be a telltale sign when it says, "What you been up to again?" So that's the top. So it's that way round because that's the skinny bit. 'Cause that's the wall leans in. Because I don't think that is the trimmer to the wall, and that's how far the wall is out from plumb. Old French farmhouse. Did Ginger's nose, if she's still here? Oh no, we'll meet again some sunny day. I'll talk to you, Gingers. Oh dear. Oh, my mum used to love a lot of the old songs and things like Vera Lynn and Eartha Kitt. Who remembers Eartha Kitt? Remember, I'm not that old. Well, I'm 54. I'm old enough, but not old enough for that, really. But the parents used to love Eartha Kitt and Vera Lynn. There we go. My dad used to love, even though he's English, he used to love a lot of country and western and that as well. Oh, was it Campbell? Oh, crikey, what was it now? Loads of them. And obviously Dolly Parton. Mum used to love all the old movies, you know, all the old black and white movies. You could hear her in the kitchen humming along to the old, like the old musicals and stuff. She was a funny woman. She was born in India. I'm about 8th Indian, actually. You wouldn't believe it, would you? You can see it in my sisters. But, yeah. She came over to the UK in the 50s or 60s. In a boat. My grandmother was a love child. Oh dear. On my father's side, though, he's very, very Norfolk. We're direct descendants of Robert Kett. If you do a search on Kett's Rebellion in Norfolk, you know what we're on about. So there's not many of us direct descendants now. So there you go. And, Robert Kett, along with his brother, held Norwich in Norfolk. Basically, not ransom. It's all over taxes, boundary taxes. They imposed all these boundary taxes, and Robert Kett, being a major landowner, basically owned a massive portion of Norfolk, Mousehold, and going right up to Wymondham and Cossey and all that lot. And he'd held it within the city walls for 30 days. Anyway, the Crown got some German mercenaries, and they basically, that was it. You know, they were brutal. And Robert Kett hid in a hollowed-out oak tree, which is now full of concrete. You know, in Wymondham. I just remembered I didn't put my paper back in, even though I made that deep enough for the paper. I better do that. It's potentially going to bind. Yeah, because I showed you with the paper in, didn't I? Just to show you, you know, spacer. I've got my little spacer here. Sacrifices I make. All right. Someone mentioned actually in the comments. I was trying to find my old Yankee screwdriver. This is a little hand Yankee. And it's a spiral driven screwdriver. So you push it down and it spins around like that, you see. And this is the days before we had the battery drills. Now, I was quite young actually when battery drills were becoming popular. And I'm still using a wooden handled Yankee. I think there's either 24 or 18-inch one. Blooming things are dangerous because the lock was literally like this. Hadn't got a lock on it, but the lock on the Yankee was a twist on hair, right? And you could quite easily accidentally knock the lock off, and the whole thing would just go spring out about 24 inches long or 18 inches long, whatever it was, and jab your eye out. Yeah, lethal things. And it's part of the reason my father bust his leg, big time. He had a ladder on the stairs, and basically he needed to reach the little hall window, the top of the stairs. And this was quite a big house. I can't remember what it was now. I think it was in Durham it was. Anyway, it's quite a big house, posh place, with marble floors and stuff. Anyway, he was fitting this window, and he was bouncing on a deal, which was basically on the little pair of steps at the top of the stairs, and a big pair of steps at the bottom of the stairs. And as he was bouncing on there, trying to get that last screw at the top of the window, what's happening is the steps at the bottom are doing that. And then they just collapsed, and he went crashing down, he did, onto the marble floor, and bone came out the side of his leg. He has a scar that wide all down the side from the knee right down to the ankle. And he nearly lost his leg. He could have died, actually, because he lost so much blood. And my dad was he was a brilliant carpenter, don't get me wrong. Absolutely brilliant, a brilliant craftsman. And his love was boats, he was basically a boat builder at heart. And highly skilled man, he really was. There are obviously things like all parents. There's things you don't like about people sometimes, and sometimes it's your parents. But he used to do stupid things, And although he's a brilliant craftsman, he didn't have a lot of taste. Yeah, when you mix materials, it didn't really work very well. So yeah, it's just basically just put it down like that. I can't push on because I've got nothing to push against. But normally you push on there and it'll just go down that outside, you see, and that back again. The spring's a bit worn in this one, I think. And that's like so. That's before we had. There's a little one on that face. That looks right, that's good. It's good. I'll put the rest of the screws in then. Yeah, but boat building was his thing. That was his love. Oh my God, my dad. He bust his hip, right? He bust his leg, and then he bust his hip, and they put a false hip in for him. Then he had to have a second one put in, right? And he thought it'd be a great idea to build a boat in his driveway, right? In his flipping driveway. And then he got ill, got cancer. So basically, he got all the hull and the superstructure's all built. It's all partly fitted out inside. You had the engine, that was all in. So there wasn't a huge amount to do. It was for him because he couldn't do it. His eyesight was, he had a macular degeneration in the eyes. So that, and that was when he started building this flipping thing. He was so determined to do it, which I admire. But me and my sisters had a hell of a job. Let's use the other screwdriver, makes more sense on hinges. Me and my sisters had to clear the flipping place out. And inside the house was just full of boat bits. There's literally boat bits everywhere. All right, so now we've got our hinges now installed on the door. Let's do that a bit more. Oh, a lot of my tools are very old and I've had them for many, many years, including this vice. And it's a really nice vice. It's an old record, the 55 I think it is. I think it's 55. Can't really see it because it's sort of a bit bashed up. So that's going to go on there that way round onto that carcass. And that's going to be fixed to the face of the carcass. That's going to obviously have the mirror in it. And then obviously we can open it on those two little hinges, and I'll give you an idea what they look like. So they look a darn sight neater than what those horrible old steel hinges would have looked like. Not details, they're just nasty. I understand if people find things like that difficult. It's better to do something than nothing at all, obviously. But it's quite nice to learn to do these things and just take your time. I think that's part of the problem these days. Look, people don't seem to think they've got the time, or they think it's got to be done now. So people get impatient, and unfortunately, they make bad choices. Let's bring this back over here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with the carcass. I also got to work out the size of the door, the other door, because obviously it's going to be 2 doors, you see. I'll just show you what the mirror looks like. Being very, very careful, because I don't want to break it. I'll put it on a backing board, and that's literally the mirror, and that's going to be fitted into there, but I don't want to yet because it's possibly I don't want to break it. So is that the right way around? So it probably goes in one way round. Yes, the other way round. So I trimmed it, planed it to suit. There you go. It goes in there like that. Right, so that's going to be fitted in there like that, and I've got to decide on how we're going to go about actually securing it. Do I just use some? Could just pin it, to be honest, or I can make a little wooden frame to go around. Probably actually be best. It's glass mirror, isn't it? So probably best. So that is what it's kind of going to look like on that door. That's so I can, you know, prune myself. And I only do it for you, you know. Can't you tell? No. What are you saying? Are you laughing? Blimey, how rude. You know what? I'm one of these people. At least I don't give a damn what I look like. I don't give a damn about whether I'm naked and stuff like that. That scares people. Yeah, well, I really don't care. I'm no prude. Definitely not. Ask the missus. She knows. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, Taco. Not sharp, as he bleeds. Yeah. Very good. Right. Not as sharp as I would like. If it was sharp enough, that took my finger off, wouldn't it? No? Right, here we go. So, that's the side the door's going to be going on. Now I'm going to have to work it out for the other door, which is kind of like, you know, that's going on there like that. You can make a kitchen unit of this as well, couldn't you? Or one of them cake cupboard things. Put that fine mesh in the doors. You keep your cakes and stuff in your cabinet so they don't, the flies don't get to them. They do a lot of that. They have a lot of those things there. You can buy them in the shops. You can make them anyway. Right, so that's going to go on there like so, with its mirror in there, and that will hopefully open there like so. Right, hello, through the square window, and that is the plan. Regarding a latch, if I was going to put a mullion in for it to close it against, or up to, so it's like between 2 spaces, which I'm not going to do because there's not enough room, I would have probably used something very physical, like a bolt or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just something, or some turning knob or whatever. But because I'm not going to be having it like that, I'm just going to use some magnetic latches. I've got some heavy ones, strong ones, which need to be reasonably strong. Or the ones I've got in the kitchen cupboards, Caroline keeps complaining about because I can't open the door. I don't even realise that when you buy magnetic latches, you can get them in different strengths, and you can get up to 8 kilo here. 8 kilo magnetic latches. So you're yanking on them. So anyway, I don't feel I want him that strong. They can be strong enough to hold the door shut with the glass door in it, obviously. You don't want that swinging open up against the other door or something and then it's smashing to you. Is there anything in the way that it could hit? No. There isn't, because that's a very valid point. Now, I've already put the socket in. I mentioned it yesterday, because inside here, I want to keep a water pick toothbrushy thing, also electric toothbrush and stuff that's going to need to be charging in here. So I've moved the socket around, a little double socket in, which is going to be inside the cupboard, just for that purpose, and also my razor and stuff. Because I do shave, you know. This is just a day's growth, you know. Do you know that? It's just a day. It's crazy. So all right. So what we need is to prepare some more wood. I'm just looking at a time as well because my dear wife is back tomorrow, and I've got to do her board and pass. She said, "Can you do it at 4?" She said. Here in France. Hi, Men's. I just built a cabinet next to my fridge, and I was too lazy to centre and balance the hinges. I used some semi-warp surface mount hinges. Semi-warp, I don't even know what they are. Semi-warp surface mount hinges. Now, what I can't do at this stage is fix this into place, right? Because, and also the width of the door, I'm going to have this fixed into place, this part into place, because I want this trim to be exactly where it needs to be. Now I could pre-cut all the hinges ready, but I can't cut the door exactly to width because I'm not going to know exactly where it's going to be if this trimmer is going to go up against the wall, and especially if the wall isn't plumb on the left-hand side. I know it wasn't on the left-hand side, for which I compensate. I've already scribed that in, and I will show you it in place once we get that stage. Yeah, I think it's quite cool though, doesn't it? Remember, it's only old pallet wood. And somebody asked yesterday about how you got it with the grain showing and stuff like that, kind of weird whitewashy finish. And it's literally just, I just sanded it first, but not too aggressively, just enough to make sure it's smooth and not splintery. I did get a few splinters. And then give it a coat of paint, let it dry, and then give it a sanding over with 120 grit, and it just removes all the highs, and it leaves the highs generally where the resin are, because the soft wood tends to shrink back past the grain, so you end up just standing off where the top's grain, and it gives you that grainy, that kind of look like that. Sort of, I don't know, brushed woody kind of, I don't know, lime washy look. Do you like my terminology? I make it up as I go along, Now, I actually know where this one's got to come because I've actually marked it already. I marked it on there where it's got to go. So I've got a fairly good idea. But I'm not going to put I could screw it in place. I could screw that one down if I wanted to. I think I will actually, because that'll prepare me for when I want to hang it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put a couple of screws in there. The place to put the screws, all right? Don't put them right at the ends, all right? You've got hinges there, haven't you? You want think obviously where your screws are going to be, but you want them just above or below where your hinges, because you want the load of the door where the fixing is. And I'm not gluing this down into place. I'm just literally going to put a screw there, a screw up there, and probably one in the middle, and that's it. And I'll just make clearance on, drill some clearance holes for the plugs, and that's it. So I'll do that now anyway, because that'll be better. I'll screw it and unscrew it. Screw it. What I'm going to do first, though, I'm going to put the marks just down the side so I can see where they are. I ain't got to struggle. I've got 2 pencil marks. There's one there and there's one there. And that's where this piece of wood has to go up against. Because I've already offered this up in the shower room where it's going to be sitting, so I can see exactly where this rail was, and so I could actually scribe this piece of wood to the wall. Because the wall is not plumb. No. In fact, it was the opposite of plumb. It was unplumb. So I make my terminology up as I go. That's what you got to do, isn't it? I know I've already done that in, just double checking. That's right, that's good. So what I'll do is I'll just line that up with the edges there to those marks, which is that one, and that one with that one, and double check that door is actually correct. Yes, that's good. That's good. All right, I'm happy with that. And this is just a 10mm counter bore on this drill. The one I use, this one you probably see me use several times for the my countersinks. I'm going to go in to give myself enough clearance so I can actually put a plug in it. A bit more. I do. one in the middle. Still on mark, yep. Still looks good, yep. But there, yeah. Yeah, about there. Put as many screws in as you like. I'm just putting 3 in. Oh, I think that's enough. I'm going to take them out again anyway. We'll leave them in while I'm actually working out the other door. Oh, crikey, Tom's pressing on. So I'll cut some little plugs so I can plug that up, and then I'll also get a bit of TLC with some paint, and then another little rub down and stuff like that, so pretty much disappear. You know, I've got a health and safety beer here. Look, see, I haven't been drinking it though. It's only a weak beer though. It's only 5%. I just here in France, yeah, the average beers are around 8%. Like the old German beers, but I don't want to be drinking stuff like that. Not when I'm in here, because you do get a little bit daisy-headed. Right, so we have got some more wood, which we need to prep up for this door. So I'm just going to grab a few pieces of it, and remember, this cabinet was made out of stuff like this. It's crazy, isn't it? Really. Is that a bit thinner? Well, I'm just going to go with it. I won't make any odds. So considerably thinner. Oh, that's not helpful. That's really thinner. Or should I care? I don't know. Because that's going to be flush at that point. To be fair, you wouldn't actually know. Because the hinges make it flush there, and then you just put your stop in with your... Oh, bugger it. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm going to grab some more boards. Why is that one thinner? Why can't they standardise the pallets? Pesky pallets. I know what I could do. I've got some slightly thicker ones here. I think you can still hear me. So if I use the slightly thicker ones on the edges, and then the thinner ones in the middle, it might look quite cool. If they're long enough, that is. Yes, just come outside. Just blooming hot out here today. Oh, on my way. I was trying to trip over the Wally dog. Right, so what I could do, if this is long enough, yeah, I know bits of wood's is it long enough? Is it long enough? Oh, they are long enough, provided I don't split the ends, because these are thicker. So that is a possibility. I could get away with putting like that at the ends, not with the lumpy bits on. I'll get it on the ends, and then use the thinner ones in the middle. So then it looks intentional. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to have to strip another pallet down because I'm lazy. Right. So that'd go on there like that. So that would be enough boards. Oh, I thought I'd need more boards than that, but that's about, well, probably one more board actually. Time I have to clean this all up. Yeah, I need one more board. Where's that position on there? Right. Looks very pretty like that, doesn't it? Obviously I was being sarcastic. Right, so that's going to go on there like that. That'll go on there. Are these boards tapering or something? Oh no. I am going to need, because the overall width was, if I remember rightly, 111 centimetres. That's not helpful. Oh no, 111 centimetres at the top. car, which is there. Right, that wouldn't have been there. Probably measure about there, I reckon. Okay, this is a bit annoying. There's a possibility I might have to cut that one again. Because if I try and add a narrow piece into this, that'll look really silly. Whereas if I just make that a little bit wider, if I have to, I will. So I'm going to go with the flow of this, I think, and just, well, make it as is. I don't want them bits on, though. I suppose that could be a handle. Let's put you over here for a second. I'm going to have to get a bit brutal. All right, I've got to wax some nails out. I might not choose that, I'll see in a minute. How many of them have I got? Have I got enough of those? If I have, I could get away with those ones instead. We'll see. Instead of the thinner ones. See what I've got lying about. So I just want to move this out of the way first. So that's 5 boards. I thought that was Brian can't look through the square window. Oh crikey. Was that Jack Norrie or something? Alright, let's remove some of these blocks and try and do it without splitting it. I was trying to do it outside, I didn't want to come off. So I was going to get aggressive. Might need a bigger hammer. I've got a lump hammer. Where's that? There's one in there, isn't there? I've got a lump hammer. Oh, I've got a big old ball peen hammer here, that might do it. Blimey. That's one. Heads poke that one. Is there a possibility I could clamp that down and lever them out? I pulled the pallet apart using like a metal lever thing that I made, like a pallet tool. It works really well. But obviously, some areas you can't. I didn't want to know on some of it, and some of it didn't want at all. Where's my hammer? Now I'm not. I like wooden hammers like this, all right? Proper old flipping hammers like that. They're so nicely balanced. I'm not keen on these composites. Right on construction sites, but blimey, that's in there. Got that one. Got that one. Right, and I got that one. Hey. That's not too bad. It's still long enough. I'd have checked that already, hadn't I? Yeah, just about. Just about. Right. Brutal. Let's get brutal. All right. Neanderthal. Quite straight those bits are. That's quite handy. Now, this old hammer here is not a hammer. This is an old framing hammer. That's an American hammer. It's a Vaughan, and it's just nice. It's just a nice tool, you know. But look at the way the size of that thing. Right, if you're doing framing work or floor joists and stuff like that, you know. So I've got that one done. So I've got 2 like that. I wonder if I've got any more like that I can debrutalize. Oh, no, I split it. Damn it. That one split. Oh, what have we got over here? Oh, there's another one. I see another one. Through the round window. Right, what have we got here? That's too thin. Got those two there, which is slightly wider. That might be quite a good thing because I need that extra little bit of width. That's what she said. It's all about the girth, you know. It's all about the girth. Here I come. Back in there. Yeah, I saw her left. Yeah, I know. Still talking to you though. So like that one. That's the same thickness as those, I believe. Right. And they're slightly wider boards, which is actually a good thing. Because it wasn't quite, with the other boards, it wasn't quite wide enough, sorry. I know I'm not worried about all the half crowns I'm putting in. Half crowns, if you didn't, that's what we used to call the dents you put in with a hammerhead in the UK. It'll just add to the character. What do you need, bugger? Crikey, they're long nails. I think they're long nails. It's brutal. It's proper vice. I tell you what, living in France, you try and get a woodworking vice in France. It's a flipping nightmare. There we go. After all that bashing, it didn't want to come off, and so you little old nails. It's nuts. Absolute nuts. So, it's a bit bashing here. I like the idea of making something out of nothing, I do. Oh, blimey, and bending nails over. Better ways of doing that than that. Right. Do. Like so. There was another guy. Oh, crikey, Steve's name is, I think, Steve. Drop a hammer on your foot. I think it was Steve. Woodworking Masterclass, he calls himself. Aussie guy. I think he's Aussie. Aussie or New Zealand or something. Anyway, he don't seem to stream anymore. Very nice chappy. Last time he was streaming was Make the Harp. Quite interesting. So what I haven't done much of recently is scroll sawing. I used to do a lot of it. I don't do hardly any of it anymore. It might be because I've got these lasers now, so I can do laser cutting. It's something nice about doing scrolls. Yeah, it's quite therapeutic. Ah! Getting nails isn't therapeutic, you know, getting that nails out. It's more stressful than therapeutic. There's better ways of doing this. Things are rusted. Rusted they are. Shorten them a bit. Shorten them. They don't bend. There we go. You have that problem. If they keep bending over like that, or they've got a bit corroded, just cut them off. I'm just using my nail pincers for that job. I'll bend that bit forwards a few times. That'll come off now. I should do. Yeah. Oh no, it's left it in there. That wasn't my plan. I don't need the full length anyway, I can cut that off. Right, so we've got 1, 2. They're slightly wider, these ones are, so they're going to give me that extra bit of girth. 3, 4. And they're the same thickness. That's better. I need one more. One more I need. I'm just going to hunt down another one out here. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, I've got another one out there somewhere. I know I have. Oh, move these bits of wood out of the way before the doggies decide to stand on them with fit nails in them. What about that one there? That will do me, I think. Oh, hang on, that's a good one. Oh, and that's not. What about that one? Oh, that'll do. There we are. I was one on there. I picked up 3 pallets a couple of days ago as well. It was outside the DIY shop, and that was there you go, back we come. Yay! And that was very handy. I need one of these. Just one of those will do the job. That will do. Coming number 1. I tell you what also was quite handy. The Bricko, like I say, it's DIY in French. They have, every so often they'll put like a chariot, a trolley out in the store with those offcuts of plywood. And they're good offcuts of plywood. They're not like stupid little bits. And for about a tenner, the whole trolley's worth really handy. So if you've got drawer bottoms and stuff like that, usually quite, often big enough to do that. The other thing I quite like using for drawer bottoms is laminate flooring. Works really well. You just snap it together, and it's the cheap stuff. Jab yourself, Marcus, with a claw hammer. This old bench, I'll tell you, it's solid. Now, the wood in the end here, I don't know if I might have told you before, this wood here, that is Douglas. Douglas was put the same on every end, and the rails are all Douglas. But very old Douglas. And it was Douglas fir that was salvaged out of the sorting office in London. And it was used to bomb-proof the roof. They were literally beams, is what they were originally. And we bought a load and machined it all down. Because it's good stuff, I'll tell you. You get a shaving off that, whisper thin shavings. It was beautiful, like a piece of lace. There's only old Douglas fir. It's crazy. It's because obviously it's been seasoned well over a very long period of time. And slow grown, not all this like plantation stuff. And it was just really nice stuff. Lovely stuff to work with. A planer didn't like it though, because even though it was nice to plane it with hand plane, the actual machines tended to spark a bit because there was a lot of grit in it. And also we had shrapnel in it as well. Some of it was just like lead buckshot. I've had that with oak before, quite a few times with old oak here in France. It doesn't matter. Do you know what doesn't matter? I can cut that off. I can cut that off. They've got to be 72s, remember, aren't they? So, 72s. Do I cut them all to length? Yes, I do. There's a reason for that. So I need to sand. Maybe do it for time. It's 4 o'clock. Blimey! Oh, I've got to do the Bush's boarding pass, apparently. I have my orders. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get that chopped down first. I'll get told off, you see. I've got to get told off. Right, so we're going to use our rage alarm saw because it's quick and it's easy and it works. It works well. And I'm going to cut them to 72s because that is the length of the other door. So we'll first cut one at 72 and I'll use that to set a stop up so we can do the others at 72. If you're doing long pieces, you can put the stop at this end if you want. But if you're doing short pieces, if there's anywhere in the vicinity of the saw, you need to put the stop on the other side. Otherwise, you can chop your fingers off. That's a really bad idea. Apparently, I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody told me it hurts. Right, here we go. I'm going to chop that naily bit off there. Got a split in the end there, or is it just... No, that's not a split, is it? Is it a split? No, it's not. I'll get rid of the naily bit. And also there's a nail in that naily bit, so I'm going to get rid of that. Where's my tape? Oh, crikey. Pencil! I need my pencil! Oh, there it is. I'm in a mess. Have you noticed? Everything is in a mess, and I hate it. I've been so busy, though, trying to look after the house. Crikey. And keeping the dogs happy. Taking them for walks and stuff. More. And the garden. And trying to do my videos. And, yeah. Well, she's back tomorrow. My ball and chain's back tomorrow. My workshop theory. Yep. That she is. Right. Now set the length with a stop. Bring the saw out. Block it off. Let it stop. And then clamp a piece of wood on for a stop. I'm not going to do it on the right hand side because it's far enough away from the blade, so it doesn't matter. Will it fit on there? Will it work on there? It'll work on there, that'll do. Right, so I'm going to trim it off and then, yeah, let's trim the end. Let's get rid of that all. I think that blade needs sharpening. That's two. Be careful of this, because that's fine. Oh, I'll do that end first. I'll do that end first. That's handy, Harry. I'm cutting it off the end for two reasons. One, to square the end off, but also where it's got little shapes in the end, like you see there, where it's dried up excessively on the end. I'm just removing it. When I get in the old shower room, there will be a bit of humidity in there. Usually say, well, I'm going to have a shower, you say, I drip dry. Highly recommend it. None of this towel lark. Oh, crikey. Oh, that germs. Festering on the towel. I just run naked everywhere, that's what I do. Running naked. Right, I've got my few bits of wood. I'll put that there. I can alternate them so they're sort of balanced now. There you go, so I've got them like that. Like so, like so. So what I need to do now is I need to sand each of the boards and glue them up. What I'm going to probably do is I'm going to sign off for a bit. I'm going to do my wife's boarding pass, otherwise I'll get in trouble. That just won't do. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to put that door together. I just stood on something. Oh yeah, it's my microphone box. Went right in my butt crack, and it did. Anyway, we've got 8 minutes. So, oh, Andy, I hope you're well. Fine, Ken. Oh dear. So I'm just going to sign off a bit. So, you know, join us back later and we'll put this door together. We'll clean the boards up. And then we'll finalise that by giving it a coat of paint as well, ready to be rubbed down that for tomorrow. It won't take long to put together. So I'm just going to sort out my dear wife's boarding pass and send that to her so she can get that printed off and what have you for her trip back. She's not comfortable relying on mobile phones and stuff, at the airport. So I could use it for the excuse. I quite enjoyed the freedom. It's been quite nice. It's been quiet. I've been able to have snoozers on the sofa without her knowing. Anyway, I'll be back probably in about, I'll say an hour's time, and I'll put this phone back on charge as well. So, toodaloo for now. Check us in about an hour's time. Hopefully you'll get a notification. Toodaloo.